So, how did the Indian brands take over? Let's go back a couple of decades. African countries were flooded with motorcycles from China, Europe, and the United States. Brands like Lifan, Lonson, Zongshen, Harley-Davidson, and Honda were competing for the top spot. But something was missing: reliability, affordability, and adaptability to Africa's tough roads. Then came the Indian manufacturers. They didn't just enter the market, they studied it, adapted their bikes, and conquered it. If you look at the data, Indian motorcycle sales started skyrocketing from 2012 and have remained on top since then. Today, Indian brands dominate more than 60% of the African market in countries like Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, Ghana, and Tanzania. Indian motorcycles outsell Chinese and American brands by a ratio of nearly 4-to-1. So, what exactly did the Indian brands do differently? It all comes down to these key strategies. Affordable pricing. Indian motorcycles are significantly cheaper than their American counterparts and offer better durability than Chinese bikes. Rugged design for African roads. Models like the Bajaj Boxer 150, TVS HLX 125, and Hero Don 125 are built to handle Africa's rough roads and heavy loads. Widespread spare parts availability. Indian manufacturers set up distribution networks across Africa, making it easier for riders to find and replace parts. Fuel efficiency. With petrol prices rising, bikes like the TVS Star HLX 125 consume less fuel, making them the preferred choice. Easy financing options. Indian companies partnered with local banks and microfinance firms to offer installment-based motorcycle purchases, allowing even low-income riders to own a bike. Indian domestic markets and African markets have similar dynamics and price sensitivity. Indians, understanding this, successfully replicated these strategies abroad. As you can see in the chart, the price differences between Indian and American options are drastic. So, why are Chinese and American brands struggling? Let's break it down. China flooded the market with motorcycles, but many of them lacked quality control. Riders frequently complained about engine failures, weak suspensions, and lack of long-term durability. The result? People stopped trusting them. American and European brands were too expensive and over-engineered for Africa. Harley-Davidson and BMW make incredible motorcycles, but they aren't built for Africa's daily needs. These bikes are. An average Harley-Davidson costs over $15,000. Meanwhile, a Bajaj Boxer costs around $1,000 and does the same job more efficiently for Africans. But Indian motorcycles aren't just about affordability, they're also tapping into Africa's youth market with huge performance options. Bajaj Dominar 400, a powerful 373cc bike with LED lights, sporty design, and an ABS braking system. Perfect for young riders seeking power without breaking the bank. TVS Apache RR310. Inspired by racing DNA, this 310cc bike balances speed, style, and efficiency. Hero X-Pulse 200. Built for off-road riding and adventure, this bike is attracting Africa's young bikers with its rugged performance. These bikes have unlocked the sporting DNA in youth, cementing India's position as a high-performance and quality motorcycle manufacturer. Indian motorcycle companies aren't just selling bikes in Africa, they are building them there too. By setting up assembly plants and manufacturing hubs across the continent, they are fueling both economic growth and job creation. Bajaj Auto has set up assembly plants in Nigeria, Kenya, and Uganda to meet skyrocketing demand. TVS Motors has production units in Ethiopia and Egypt, producing thousands of bikes every month. Hero Motor Corp has invested heavily in Rwanda and Tanzania, establishing distribution centers and service hubs. By producing motorcycles locally, Indian companies have cut import costs, made bikes more affordable, and ensured a steady supply of spare parts, something that was missing before. Over 10,000 jobs have been created in Africa by Indian motorcycle manufacturers. Thousands of Africans have been employed as factory workers, technicians, sales agents, and mechanics in these Indian motorcycle plants. Microfinance partnerships allow local entrepreneurs to build motorcycles on loan and use them for ride-hailing services like boda bodas and delivery jobs. Skill training programs by Indian companies are teaching African youth how to assemble, maintain, and repair motorcycles, boosting self-employment opportunities. This is a win-win situation. African economies grow, local industries thrive, and Indian brands cement their dominance in the region. Indian manufacturers are setting up more plants to cater to West and Southern Africa. TVS and Bajaj are investing in electric bikes like the TVS iQube and Bajaj Chetak, which could revolutionize urban transport in African cities. Companies are adapting bikes specifically for Africa, such as cargo carriers and models with tougher suspensions for rough terrains. So, there you have it. Indian motorcycles are rewriting the rules of the game, leaving their competition in the dust. If you're in Africa, chances are your next bike will be